Let's get started with our first news. Arman doesn't see Islam beating Khamzat in a fight. If Islam manages to capture the welterweight title at UFC 322, it would greatly boost his case as the best pound-for-pound fighter on the planet. But even if that happens, Arman still doesn't believe Islam could hand Khamzat his first loss. Islam is currently booked to face the new welterweight champion JDM on November 15th. Before this fight was set, JDM earned his shot by defeating Islam's close training partner Bilal Muhammad. Interestingly, before that bout, Islam had even talked about moving up to middleweight. Right now, the man who holds that title is Khamzat. So when Arman was recently asked in an interview about a potential fight between Islam and Khamzat, he made it clear he's picking Khamzat all day. Arman explained that their physical dimensions are completely different. He said when you wrestle with Khamzat compared to other welterweights, it's a whole different experience. He clamps onto you like a tick. Islam, on the other hand, is still a lightweight by build, by weight, by everything. Arman added that no matter how much Islam tries to bulk up, it could actually backfire on him. Adding too many kilos might make him tire faster and slow him down. Many fans would likely agree with Arman's take, considering Khamzat's dominance and the fact that Islam has been fighting in a division that's nearly 30 pounds lighter. Still, it's unlikely this matchup will happen anytime soon. But one fight we might see soon is Arman versus Ilya. If Arman defeats Dan Hooker on November 22nd, it would be surprising if he doesn't get a title shot next. In that same interview, Arman also shared his thoughts on facing the lightweight champion Ilya. He said he believes in himself and knows he won't be fighting at Ilya's range. He plans to do what he's best at: pressure wrestling and control. Arman said he's confident Ilya won't be able to defend his TK downs. He even added that Ilya spends his time hitting pads and boxing, but in places like Chechnya or Dagestan, any amateur could take him down and ground and pound him. Move on to another news. Tom Aspinall has admitted he was wrong about Alex Pereira. Before UFC 320, Tom confidently predicted that Magomed Ankalaev would defeat Pereira once again. But after watching Alex deliver yet another dominant performance inside the octagon, Tom didn't hesitate to give credit where it was due. He said, "Bro, he just absolutely ran through him. Look, I was wrong. I was wrong. That was very, very impressive." It's not often you see a top heavyweight like Tom openly admit when he gets a prediction wrong, but Pereira's performance was simply undeniable. The way Alex handled his opponent with his calmness, timing, and devastating power reminded everyone why he's one of the most dangerous fighters on the planet. Tom continued by saying that Alex's display of skill and composure showed exactly why he's in a league of his own right now. After the fight, Tom was asked about what could be next for Pereira, and he replied that it all depends on what Alex and the UFC decide to do. He mentioned that Carlos Ulberg just picked up a big win as well and could be an interesting matchup. Ulberg has been making waves in the light heavyweight division, showing explosive striking and improving confidence every time he steps inside the cage. Tom added that Pereira has also talked about possibly moving up to heavyweight, and that's where things could get even more exciting. He said, "We'll have to see what the UFC wants to do next." A move to heavyweight for Pereira would shake up the division in a massive way, especially with Tom sitting at the top as the interim champion. Many fans are already buzzing about the possibility of Pereira testing himself against the biggest and strongest fighters in the UFC. With his power, accuracy, and warrior mentality, he's one of the few fighters who could make that leap successfully. Whether he stays at light heavyweight or moves up, one thing is clear: Pereira continues to silence his critics and prove why he's one of the most feared men in the sport today. Move on to another news. Ilya had a powerful and emotional message for Merab after his latest victory. Following Merab's dominant performance, Ilya took to social media to share his thoughts, posting a heartfelt message on X along with a photo of the two together. He wrote, "Brother, we've reached the point where your victories seem almost normal, but we all know how hard it is to get there. I say it with pride. You are a living legend, an example of hard work, sacrifice, and heart. Beyond the fighter, you're an incredible person with a soul too big for your chest. We love you, we support you, and we are with you every step of the way." That message immediately went viral in the MMA community, with fans praising Ilya for showing such respect and brotherhood toward Merab. It's rare to see two elite fighters, both at the top of their game, share this level of mutual admiration and love in a sport that thrives on rivalry and trash talk. But Ilya and Merab have proven that respect can exist even at the highest levels of competition. Ilya's message also highlighted the kind of fighter Merab has become, one who's earned everything through relentless work ethic and unmatched dedication. Merab's rise in the UFC has been nothing short of inspiring, from grinding through early setbacks to now being one of the most feared and respected bantamweights in the world. His journey embodies the spirit of true perseverance. Many fans and fighters reacted to Ilya's post, including Sean O'Malley, who couldn't help but respond with his own reaction. Sean simply said, "That's love," followed by a handshake emoji, acknowledging the bond between the two warriors. Even though Sean and Merab are on a collision course in the same division, the message reminded everyone that behind all the competition and hype, there's still a deep level of humanity and mutual respect among fighters. Moments like these remind fans that MMA isn't just about violence or titles, it's about heart, passion, and the brotherhood forged through blood and sweat. Ilya's message perfectly captured that spirit, showing once again why both he and Merab have become fan favorites around the world. Move on to another news. Dustin Poirier and Nate Diaz are going back and forth once again. The rivalry between these two veterans has been brewing for years, and now it seems to have reignited after Dustin revealed that a boxing match with Nate could actually bring him out of retirement. Poirier, who recently hinted that his fighting days in MMA might be over, made it clear that if the opportunity to box Nate under Sufa Boxing ever came up, he'd be more than ready to step back in. But as expected, Nate Diaz doesn't seem too interested in finally settling things with Dustin inside a boxing ring. For longtime fans, this rivalry goes way back, all the way to 2018, when the two were originally booked to fight inside the octagon. That matchup had a ton of hype behind it, but for various reasons it never materialized, leaving fans wondering what could have been. Fast forward to now, and the tension has once again flared up. After hearing Dustin's comments about wanting a boxing match, Nate jumped on social media and fired some shots his way. He wrote, "I'd beat your ass, but you're not allowed. P.S. You're checked out already. You had your chance. You punked out. Get you some sleep, you old retired." However, what caught fans' attention wasn't just the insult, it was the fact that Nate accidentally spelled allowed as allowed. Dustin quickly noticed and came back with a classic response, writing, "Dog, I have an 8th grade education, allowed. Maybe a spelling bee competition versus Nathaniel would be the hardest fight of both our careers." Fans couldn't stop laughing, with many praising Dustin for keeping things lighthearted while still landing a clean counterpunch on Nate's mistake. But deep down, people know this isn't just playful banter, there's real tension between these two. The fact that Nate took this opportunity to take another jab at Dustin isn't surprising at all. Diaz has never been one to hold back when it comes to calling out old rivals. Still, you have to wonder if deep down he could be tempted by the right offer. If the UFC and Zuffa Boxing were to present a big money deal, Nate might just consider it. That being said, Dana White has repeatedly mentioned that Zuffa Boxing is meant to serve as a platform for up-and-coming boxers, not aging MMA legends. So while the idea of Poirier versus Diaz inside a boxing ring sounds exciting, it's far from guaranteed. Adding to all this drama, Diaz has also hinted several times that he's interested in returning to the UFC, and with all the buzz around Conor possibly fighting at the White House card next year, there's speculation that Nate might be holding out for a trilogy fight with Conor instead, a matchup that would easily bring in truckloads of cash and massive attention worldwide. So for now, Dustin and Nate's verbal back and forth continues, with fans watching closely to see if this long-standing rivalry ever turns into a real fight. Move on to another news. Islam Makhachev has officially bulked up to 91 pounds ahead of his highly anticipated welterweight title fight against JDM. After it was announced that Islam would be moving up to the 70-pound division to challenge JDM for the belt, he admitted that putting on size was proving to be tougher than expected, but judging by recent photos and training footage, Islam now looks bigger, stronger, and more powerful than ever before. According to his coach Javier Mendez, who recently spoke with Red Corner MMA, Islam's transformation has been nothing short of impressive. Mendez revealed, "I was thinking we were going to be quite a bit smaller than Jack, but then I saw Islam. He's put on the weight really nicely. I think Islam right now is about a solid 91 pounds. So we're not going to have any issue jumping up in weight." That's a massive statement considering how disciplined Islam usually is with his frame and conditioning. Mendez also gave some insight into the game plan for this matchup. explaining that Islam is ready for whatever the fight brings. He said, "If Islam has to stand with him just because he can't take him down, then he'll stand with him. We'll take whatever opportunities we can, either that he opens up or that we force him to give us. We're not just looking to take Jack to the ground, we're looking to take advantage wherever we can." Islam's move up to welterweight isn't just about capturing another belt, it's about making history. He's already teased a potential move to middleweight in the future, aiming to become the first ever triple champion in UFC history. That ambition alone shows just how confident Islam is in his skills, strength, and ability to dominate across multiple weight divisions. Interestingly, before this welterweight run, middleweight fighter Punahele Soriano shared an old story about training with Islam back when he was still a 55-pound lightweight. Speaking to MMA Junkie's Mike Bone, Puna said, "I hadn't been training for a while and Ali texted me asking if I wanted to work out. I said sure. I showed up and it was just me and Islam, and this was still 55 Islam. I was a middleweight and he just beat the piss out of me for the whole session." Puna added that he thinks Islam's frame is huge and that he'll fill into the welterweight division perfectly. With his strength, cardio, and technique, many believe Islam has all the tools to give GDM serious problems inside the cage. As UFC 322 draws closer, fans can't wait to see how this new bulked-up version of Islam performs when he steps into the octagon on fight night. Move on to another news. Alex Pereira might be moving up to heavyweight. Following his dominant win at UFC 320, Dana White confirmed during the post-fight press conference that Pereira has shown serious interest in moving up to the heavyweight division. This isn't the first time Alex has teased such a move. He's hinted at it several times in the past, and now it looks like he's finally ready to make it happen. During the ESPN post-fight show, Carlos Ulberg mentioned that he'd also heard rumors of Pereira's potential move up to heavyweight, and shortly after, Dana White himself backed that up, saying that Alex had personally told him about his desire to move up, even before his fight with Magomed Ankalaev. Dana explained, "Hours before his fight, Alex came to me and said he wants to move up. So today, I was at work, had a bunch of meetings, and went over to the PI. He was there and I was like, 'You're the last guy I expected to see here today. What are you doing here?' And his team said, 'We want to fight at heavyweight.' Dana laughed and responded, 'How about we win tonight first, focus on that, and then we can talk about heavyweight.' He went on to add that although there are still some big fights left for Alex at light heavyweight, the possibility of him moving up can't be ruled out. Dana said, 'We'll see what happens. There are still fights here in this division, but who knows?' Fans have immediately started buzzing about the idea of Pereira stepping into the heavyweight division. With his unmatched striking power, elite timing, and unshakable confidence, a move to heavyweight could set up some truly massive fights, possibly even against the likes of Tom Aspinall or Jon Jones. And given how quickly Pereira has made history in 2 divisions already, a move up would only add to his legendary rise. As for Dana's reaction to Alex's latest performance, he couldn't have been more impressed. He said, "People love him. They love the way he fights. You can't be bummed out with how he performed tonight." Indeed, Pereira continues to captivate fans every time he steps inside the octagon. From his precision striking to his cold composure, everything about him screams superstar. And if he really does move up to heavyweight next, the MMA world could be in for one of the most exciting chapters in recent history. Whether it's conquering new divisions or delivering knockout moments, Alex Pereira just keeps on breaking boundaries. Move on to another news. Dana White has officially teased something massive coming in January, a huge UFC event that will mark the beginning of a brand new era under the Paramount deal. During the UFC 320 post-fight press conference, Dana came out and gave fans a glimpse of what's to come. He revealed that the very first card under the Paramount partnership will be absolutely stacked, and he made it clear that the UFC isn't holding back anything for this one. According to Dana, this card will not only kickstart their new journey with Paramount but will also set the tone for what's coming next, the legendary UFC White House event planned for February. Dana explained that he's laser-focused on making sure this January event blows everyone away. He said, "So if you look at what we're looking down the barrel of right now, we're about to go on a new network, Paramount, and we need to deliver a massive, incredible card in January." He emphasized that this debut is not just another fight night, but a statement to the world about what the future of the UFC looks like under its new home. This upcoming partnership with Paramount has been a major talking point for months, and fans are beyond excited to see how the UFC will capitalize on this fresh start. Dana mentioned that after the January event, the focus will shift to February, where he plans to build what he called the greatest fight card ever assembled in the history of the sport. He confidently stated, "Once we get through the Paramount debut, we'll start building the White House card, and I'll tell you right now, it will be the most insane card ever put together in UFC history." This kind of hype from Dana White isn't something to take lightly. Whenever he starts talking about massive cards and historic moments, it usually means we're in for something truly special. With stars like Alex Pereira teasing a move to heavyweight, Ilya dominating the featherweight division, and fighters like Khamzat, Arman, and Duplessis all chasing big opportunities, the timing couldn't be more perfect for the UFC to launch a new era with something unforgettable. Fans are already speculating who might headline this January event. Could it be a title unification bout, a super fight, or maybe even a long-awaited comeback? Whatever the case, Dana White's energy made one thing clear: the UFC is ready to deliver fireworks as soon as 2025 kicks off. This January event under Paramount is shaping up to be nothing short of explosive. And when Dana says he's building the greatest card ever, history tells us he means it.